Yes, the Nissan Titan is an old design, and yes, it is an older truck, but I'm here to convince you that this truck is still one of the best full-size pickup trucks on the market today. My particular example today is a 2012 Nissan Titan SV Texas Edition. You can distinguish the Texas Edition by the Texas badge down below on the tailgate. Also by these 18-inch chrome-clad wheels, as well as the step rails on the side, and also the chrome billet style grille. So that's all part of the Texas Edition package. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and start it up. Here's the key for the truck. It's Nissan's older design, just a standard key blade, as well as the separate remote. You have your unlock, lock, as well as your panic functions on there. So let's go ahead and start it up and let it run. Now, coming to the door handles, they are chrome plated door handles, and I think they add a pretty premium look to the truck. Some would say that it has too much chrome, but I don't think so. There's a lot of cars on the market today that do have lots and lots of chrome, but I don't really think this is one of them. I think Nissan did a really nice job of that. And coming to the interior, as you can see, this one does have the black leather, and they call their leather, or it may be vinyl, I'm not 100% positive, but they call it cat skin. But it's a pretty durable material, whatever it is. So I'm pretty happy with it, and the seats are very comfortable too. So we'll go ahead and start it. And all you have to do is insert the key and twist to start. And upon startup, you'll notice that the engine produces a really nice deep growl. That's actually one of my personal favorite parts of the truck. So we'll go ahead and cut on the headlights, fog lights, and the hazards, and let's take a look at the exterior. Now, the front driver and passenger window are automatic up and down. Doors sound really solid when you shut them. And I do apologize that the vehicle is dirty. This is a loaner vehicle that I have where my personal car is being worked on, and this is a vehicle the dealership just took in on trade and hasn't detailed yet. So that's why it's covered in bugs and is a little dirty. So coming to the front of the Titan, you can see that it has a very aggressive stance with a really elegant style to it. I actually think the Titan is one of the best looking trucks on the market. I like how it's not so bold and upright in the front end. It has a little bit more of a laid back look to it, but when you get on it and put your foot down, it's definitely no slouch. So coming to the front, you can see you have your standard reflector beam headlights with your orange turn signals up above. There's your high beams right there, as well as your fog lamps down below. Like I said, you have your chrome billet style grille, which is part of the Texas Edition package, and you also have chrome grille surround as well, and your big Nissan badge right there. Now coming down, you have cutouts where tow hooks could be installed if you so desire. Now coming to the wheels on this one, these are 265/70 R18s. So like I said, 18-inch chrome clad wheels. The chrome wheels are also part of the Texas Edition. And then you have your V8 Titan badge on the door, and I think that's really cool placement for the Titan badge. It's not too flashy, but it definitely lets you know that it is a Titan for sure. And like I said, another part of the Texas Edition package, you have your chrome step rails. Here's your fuel filler door right here. Now, the Titan was introduced back in 2004 and hasn't really had any major changes ever since. There have been little mild updates. But in my opinion, the truck has aged incredibly, and I think it still looks brand new today. And I can't wait to see what Nissan has in store for the next generation. Now coming around to the taillights, you can see you have your standard reflector taillights as well as your reversing lights down below. Texas Edition badge right here with the star, of course. Coming to the rear bumper, you do have reverse backup sensors. There is no reverse backup camera, but that's okay. You don't really need it because visibility is not bad at all. And also, you have an aftermarket step rail on this one, which you just push down on, and you can use as a step up into the bed. And then once you're done, it just folds neatly up under the bumper just like that. Here you can see you have your license plate lights. You also have a cutout where you can put a ball in the bumper if you wanted to. And you also have your trailer hitch receiver down below with lighting hookup. Now there is a bit of a small dent in the back bumper on this one, which really isn't all that noticeable unless you're looking for it. So it's not all that bad. Now here's the exhaust outlet on this one. It is a single exhaust, but I looked up under the truck and the exhaust setup is true duals running all the way back to the muffler, which is right about here. And then once it hits the muffler, it goes to a single outlet. So that's one of the reasons why this truck sounds so good. The tires on this one are Goodyear Eagles. They're actually pretty sticky tires. For a truck, you would expect a truck to have a harder rubber compound, but this really doesn't. Of course, you have your leaf spring rear suspension setup connected to a live axle. And then in the front, you have fully independent suspension, double wishbones. So ride quality is not bad at all. So let's go ahead and move on to the interior. Now step-in height in the Titan really isn't bad at all, and the step rails aren't necessarily needed, but they do add a really nice and premium look to the exterior of the truck, so I think that's why Nissan chose to go with that. So we'll shut off the hazards here. Now coming to the top of the door here, it is covered in a semi-rubberized material. It's not necessarily padded, but it is not hard to the touch, and I wouldn't mind resting my elbow up there. Coming to the armrest, you do have a padded armrest right here, and then you have a leather insert right here, which is very nice. And there's your door pull, really nice and solid door pull. Door handle down below, it is a charcoal gray finish. And then you have your door lock here. Like I said, the driver and passenger window are automatic up and down, and then the rear windows are just manual. Here you have your power door locks, your power window locks, as well as your power adjustable mirrors. Coming down here, you have your reverse backup sensor system where you can power that off if you so desire. You also have your cargo lamp right here, which will light up your cargo in the bed just to make sure you can keep an extra eye on your cargo. Right here you have your headlight controls and then fog lights on the little band in the middle. Steering wheel is leather wrapped with mild side bolstering grip extensions, which it really feels nice in your hands. It's very easy to hang on to and almost has a sporty feel to it, but I'll go over more of that in the test drive portion. Looking at the gauges, very simple gauges. You can see this one has about 59,742 miles on it. So it has been run pretty good, but it drives solid as a rock. You'd never know that it has almost 60,000 miles. Looking at the gauges, you have orange rings with red needles and white numbers. Very easy to read at night. They're not too bright and they don't really blind you. Coming to the top of the dash, everything is a harder touch material, but it is grained very nicely, and it doesn't sound hollow or cheap or anything like that. Here's your air vent here, and then your air vent on this side. Of course, there's where you put your key in. Here you have your wiper controls. You can see they work just fine. Here's your stereo. I won't be able to demonstrate that due to YouTube copyright issues, but I can say that the stereo sounds insanely good. It has a lot of bass punch to it, and this isn't even the Rockford Fosgate system that is optional in these. So Nissan put a very nice stereo in here. As you can see by this right here, this is a two-wheel drive Nissan Titan. A four-wheel drive was an option, and it would be right here. Here you have your climate controls, fan speed, single zone. It's not automatic or anything like that, but I'm okay with that. I personally despise automatic climate control. I just think it's ridiculously annoying. There's your hazards right down below. Here you have tow mode. And then you have your traction control off right there. Now the transmission on this one is a 5-speed automatic with low gear selection. There's 4th, 3rd, down to 2nd, and over for 1st. All in a leather wrap shift knob. And as you could hear when I put the truck in reverse, the backup sensors did go off because the curb behind me. Here you have a little storage tray, dual cup holders right here. And one feature that I find really nice about this truck is these are removable. You can just pop this out and clean it anytime you need to. If you have like a Dr. Pepper spill or anything like that, it'll you can wash that right out and have no problem. Coming down to the side here, you do have some storage trays. If you wanted to put like some pens or pencils or something like that in there, you'd have no problem. And you do have a really nice storage area right here. And if you have larger drinks, you can flip this out and it'll become a cup holder for your large drinks, which I have already used, and it definitely works really well. Coming to the center console, it is not leather stitched or anything like that. That's what the driver and passenger armrests are for. But it is in this grooved, rubberized material here, and I think it's a really nice material. Absolutely huge center console. You'd have no problem fitting like an iPad or something in there. Now coming up to the mirror here, you do have an auto dimming rearview mirror as well as a compass. There's your interior illumination. One storage for your sunglasses here, and then you have another one right up here. And then you have a power sliding rear window. I don't know if the camera's gonna make it out. Yeah, there we go. So that is one of the smartest features I have ever seen put in a pickup truck. There is no sunroof on this one or anything like that. Headliner feels alright. It feels a bit like a generic paper towel, but it's not too bad. Mirror and vanity light on the driver's side, if the camera will focus. I guess the light's throwing it off. And then you have the same thing on the passenger side. So it's nice that they give you that on both sides. So let's go ahead and check out and see what it has under the hood. Now all you have to do to open the hood is find this little tab right here and pull down. Now opening the hood is very easy. All you have to do is find the little tab, push it to the left, and lift up. The hood does have struts, so that's a very nice feature. I'm glad Nissan included that and didn't make you have to fiddle with a prop rod. This one does have Nissan's 5.6 liter V8. I'll add the power and fuel economy specs into the annotations here. It's a really smooth running engine and sounds absolutely awesome. It produces a really nice deep growl and just is a super smooth engine. It's not the greatest on fuel, but it's definitely not bad. This one has been averaging about 15.5 miles to the gallon since I've had it, so it definitely could be worse. So coming around to the back seat, there's loads of rear leg room, and the seats are super comfortable as well. You can see I'm about 5'11", 5'11 and a half, and my legs are stretched completely straight out, and there's loads of room for my feet to go up under the seat. You have mat pocket on the driver's side, and the passenger seat can actually fold down to become a table. There's a harder material on the back of the seat, so once that seat is folded down, it can actually become a table, which is really nice. And the back seats in this one are actually really comfortable. I'm very impressed. There's plenty of thigh support, lots of lumbar support, and the seats don't really sit you straight upright like they do in a lot of trucks, like the F-150. Holding down the center armrest reveals dual cup holders right here. It is padded as well and stitched in leather. You also have rear air vents right here, 12-volt power outlet down below, and also you have flip-out cup holders right here for smaller like water bottles and stuff like that. So that's what those would be used for. But the air back here blows very nicely. It's not just like a cough like some trucks are. Door materials are exactly the same as the front seat. Everything carries through. So let's go ahead and take a look at the truck bed. And one of the features of the truck bed is that it is lockable. So the truck bed is lockable. All you have to do is stick your key in the slot here, twist right to unlock, twist left to lock. It is backwards from what you might think it would be, but it still locks and unlocks. And another really cool feature, the truck bed will catch itself and easily lower. You can see it has a drop-in bed liner with Nissan right there. So let's go ahead and take this one for a test drive. So let's go ahead and get started. Like I said, the engine sounds absolutely awesome on startup. I absolutely love the note that this 5.6 liter V8 produces. Nissan definitely did a good job with the engines in these trucks. So one of the first things you'll notice about driving a Titan is how easy it feels. A lot of trucks these days feel really cumbersome to drive and like you're driving a bus, but this really doesn't. It's not too long, so it's not bad at all. And as you can tell, I'm on a little bit of a curvy road here, and it's doing a wonderful job. There's not really any body lean. That's been one of the praises of the Titan in years past, is that it does have an athletic handling characteristics. So going around this curve, you can definitely see it has no problem, and it doesn't feel like the front end's pushing or the back end is trying to come around or anything like that. It just feels very planted and solid. So it's definitely a truck to be bargained with in the full-size truck market. Now I know they have their smaller Frontier to compete with the Toyota Tacoma, GMC Canyon, or Chevrolet Colorado, or whatever those are. But this one, it definitely feels, it doesn't feel huge. It doesn't feel like you're driving a boat or anything like that. The turning radius really isn't all that bad. It is a longer vehicle, so it is a larger turning radius than, say, the car that I drive every day, a 2013 Ford Fusion. But it's not terrible, and it's definitely doable. I was driving around last night at some car lots and found myself blocked in and had no problem turning around and getting myself out of the situation. So it's just a really nice truck. Now, like I said, the seats are super comfortable. They have tons of thigh support, loads of lumbar support, and it's just an awesome truck. I absolutely love it. So as you can see, the 5.6 liter V8 certainly has no problem moving the truck out of its own way. The 5-speed automatic, there is a little bit, I mean, you can kind of sense that it's a transmission that has a fewer number of gears, but it's really not terrible. I mean, it's one of the better 5-speeds that I've ever driven. It doesn't feel like it's hunting for gears, and it makes you as the driver feel very in control of what's going on, and you don't feel like the transmission is trying to suck the engine's power out or anything like that. It just does a really nice job of putting the engine's power down and making sure that the driver is completely in control. I control this truck by my right foot and the steering wheel and the brakes. I don't feel like there's any computers in between, and that is one of the complaints I do have with my car. It does sometimes feel like the car is trying to take over, when in reality I want to be the one who's driving the car, not a whole bunch of computers that have me giving them inputs. The hydraulic power assisted steering has tons of fuel. It's not too heavy and it's not too light either. As you can hear, the 5.6 liter V8 sounds absolutely awesome. It just has a nice low down growl, and then when you rev it out, it sounds just as butter smooth as it does in the lower rev bands. And that is a complaint that I have with some V8s. When you rev the snot out of them, sometimes they sound really raspy and just very unwilling to be doing what you're doing to them. But this one really doesn't have that. It has just a really nice and controlled sound to it. And there's really no transmission whine either. A lot of cars today have a little bit of a transmission whine that comes in, but this doesn't. It's just an absolutely awesome truck. Ride quality is incredible. Visibility, you have no problem seeing out. The side view mirrors you can adjust perfectly to pretty much eliminate blind spots. The A-pillars are a little large, and this right here, I don't know if you can see where I'm pointing, but right where the dash meets the A-pillar, there is a little bit of a blind spot, and I do wish Nissan would have put a little quarter window in there, but it's not terrible. It's definitely something you could learn to live with, and it's just a really, really easy truck to drive. So overall, I think this truck is just an excellent truck. If you're in the market for the full-size truck, don't don't sell yourself short. Be sure to check out the Titan. A lot of people say it's no good because it's a design that dates back to the 2004 model year, but I don't think so. It's just it still feels brand new today, and it drives like brand new, and I just love it. It makes me realize that there is something about driving a truck. I know I drive a small car, and I'm trying to get better fuel economy, but if the opportunity presented itself to trade for something like this, I would very seriously consider it. This truck just puts a smile on your face, and that's one of the key things about a car. If a car doesn't put a smile on your face, then what good is it? If you can't look back at it and be like, yes, I bought the right car, this is what makes me happy, this is what I enjoy driving, you don't have the right car. And I do love my car, don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to bash it and say that I absolutely hate it. I don't. I love my Fusion. But there is something to be said about driving a full-size truck. So that about concludes our tour and test drive of this 2012 Nissan Titan SV. I really hope you guys have enjoyed this video, and if you did, be sure to click on that subscribe button. There's a lot more where that came from. I try to bring a lot of automotive variety and do the best I can to produce the best videos that I can possibly do. So anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. And like I said, if you're in the market for the full-size truck, don't sell yourself short. Go check out the Titan. It's definitely a force to be reckoned with. So thanks for watching, and I hope you guys enjoyed, and we'll catch you next time.